Welcome once again, everybody. Welcome at Mr. O.G.B. I still remain Mazi O.G.B. himself. Thank you once again for giving us your time. Today, we are going to look at something very important to us as people and perhaps to Nigeria as a country and to Igbos as a ethnicity. Few days ago, perhaps last week, the former military head of state IBB came out to review a lot of secrets, which I am very sure that many of us have seen it. But if you have not seen it, I think you have to go and check our videos, and you will see it there. And what really happened? What happened is that IBB actually reviewed starting from 1993 election, saying that actually MKO Abiola won the election, but he was the military head of state at the time, and they annulled the election, even though he allegedly accused what is his name, Abacha, of being responsible for that. But of course, Abacha is nowhere to be found, so we cannot say, oh, Abacha was responsible, whom we know is Babangida as of today, because the dead is dead. Abacha is gone. No one can defend him here, right? So now, but he didn't stop there. He actually made a point that, in my opinion, is very nice, and I acknowledge him for doing that. And what is that? He made us to understand that 1966 coup was not an Igbo coup. That this coup was an ideologist Nigerian soldiers who actually want to see the country move in the right direction. They are the ones who take the responsibility to fix the country on their hand. And actually what they wanted to do is to install Awolowo as the head of state in Nigeria. Now, after the coup, he said that it was deliberately planned to use it and blackmail the Igbos. And actually they succeeded, because the coup led to the massacring of Igbo people, unaliving Agiyurunse, and as many as Igbo soldiers that they can get their hands on. After that, it didn't stop there. We know about 1967 war. It was this result of this coup that led to the war. Over 6 million Igbos, perhaps Biafrans, because Biafrans is not just the Igbos, even though Igbos are like 80% of the population. Over 6 million of these people was unalived. Over 4 million was unalived with bullet. Over 2 million in starvation. That's why I call it genocide, not a war. So this man helped us to review the depth, to review the inside story about the genocide committed against humanity in Nigeria in 1967-1970. Now, I read in a book, in a newspaper, where some faction of the Ohaneze Ndigbo wrote to the federal government asking them to apologize to the Igbos, and also asking them to pay the Igbos the Biafrans compensation of over 10 trillion naira. Here is the fact. I am not against any faction. In fact, I don't even care who is ruling the Ohaneze or who is not ruling. What I care about is who will provide leadership. The current leadership of Ohaneze, I have never seen a major move by him. The one who claimed to be the rightfully elected leader, that is the former senator. You know, I am not saying he is or he is not. I don't care. But what I care is who is ready to provide leadership. Now that federal government have known that Igbos wasn't responsible for the coup, but it was Nigerians who actually had a better dream for the country. They are the ones who did everything within their power to fix the country. But after that, it was alleged to be Igbo coup, and it has since taken over 10 million lives of Igbo people. Yes, I can say 10 million because even up to date, the effect of the war, the effect of the coup is still ongoing. They are still unaliving Igbos day by day, hour by hour. And you know, and I know. It's not like I am accusing anybody or any government of doing what they are not doing. It is provable. In fact, your newspaper, your national television is broadcasting it every day. What is happening against these people? Good example, since the coup, no Igbo man has been able to be the president of the country. But the Igbos are one of the smartest ethnic group in the world, not just in Africa, neither just in Nigeria. And it is provable. Go to any country around the world. After counting the indigenous people, count the foreigners living in that country. And you will believe me that Igbos must be the top 3 groups that are doing very well in that part of the world. If they are not the first, let me say the first 3 groups. Now, these groups are asking for 3 million compensation and apology. In my opinion, I think apology is a must, but not the only option here, right? Trillion requests, I think the Igbos deserve to be paid more than trillion, 10 trillion as a compensation. You know, human life is more expensive than anything. But do you remember also that even the Igbo billionaires at the time, their money was taken from them, only 20 pounds was given to them, all the Igbo markets, all the Igbo buildings was destroyed by the federal government of Nigeria in attempt to unalive the whole Igbos around that region. A mission that is impossible. A mission that can never be complete. In fact, attempt to that is a suicide. You know, I want to tell us something. I do not want to speak in issue that I am not authorized to. I don't want to make a request for what should be given to Igbos. I believe that there is people responsible for that, and we will give them the benefit to do their job responsible. You know, yeah. So we will wait for perhaps the other faction of Ohanese to make a statement, and we will see where they are directing the people to go. Yeah, from there we will look into it and see who actually is right and who is wrong. And making a statement is not just enough, but you've got to follow it up and make sure that it comes to pass. Yeah, so I want to tell the Nigerian people and the African people that the best thing we can do is to realize that if you can travel to UK, if you can travel to a white man land or Asian land to work there and expect them to accept you, and if they try to behave somehow, you will, you know, like said that these guys are racist. But back home, you are being racist to yourself. You know, I think you've got to check your mental reasoning. You know, imagine in Nigeria, a country that is very blessed, but you see them treating each other like if one comes from unknown part of the world, while it is your brother and your sister that you guys have been living together for years. Because if you look at the Igbo history, it goes back to thousands of years. If you look at Hausa, the same thing. If you look at Yoruba, the same thing. And these guys have been neighbors for long, and there has never been any record of war between Igbos and the Yorubas, neither between Igbos and the Hausas, until the foreign powers, the foreign men came, which is popularly known as the colonial era. Now the era is gone, and these colonial masters, they are indirectly manipulating and using the locals to work for them. And they easily made you to believe that by treating Igbos like second-hand citizens, or perhaps treating anybody anyhow, will make you to remain in power forever. No, 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 no. I want to tell you something. If you can recall, as many of you alleged that the cause of the massacring Igbos is because they occupied almost all the government position and even in the market, and they were bragging that the country belongs to them. That is why the rest of the people retaliated by doing a lot of things against them. Why do you think that your own turn will be forever? It will not. It will not. So I will advise you to amend and do things rightfully to make sure that there will be no more crisis again. We can do it. It's doable. Yeah, we look forward to see a prosperous community. Like it is my dream to see an African society that is thriving. Like any African state that can build a very powerful economy, like that of UK you are going to, that of Korea you are running to, that of Japan, China, US, Australia, and the rest of the world that you guys travel to. So that is just what I wish that continent and perhaps the giant of Africa called Nigeria. Yeah, I hope you will learn.